What is up, guys? Welcome back to This Week in Wrestling, the show-stopping wrestling podcast. The first episode of the show-stopping wrestling podcast with a new rebrand, a new look. We're gold now. We have been away for like 6 weeks, I think, at this point. But
last video says 2 months.
There we go. 2 months ago, we've been away whilst a lot of stuff has been happening in the wrestling business. But if you are new here, please do like and subscribe to us down below. Head on over and follow us on Twitter, which you can see down below on the ticker at ShowStopWrestle. It's a lot has happened in the last couple of months. AEW's on the rise. WWE's trying their best to fight them off.
Are they?
They're not trying their best. So that they're fighting them off. They're throwing things at them, and this week was another example of that.
Well, no, but this week also proved that technically they can almost do a 3-hour TV show and make it good.
Yeah, I really actually quite enjoyed SmackDown this week. Raw, I think, is pretty much dead to the world at this point. I don't hear really anyone saying good things about Raw anymore.
Good moments in it, but
it
just doesn't go from start to finish.
Yeah, it's like, if you're watching a movie, like, a Marvel movie or whatever, and you were like, oh well, it had good bits in it, you'd still say it's a shit movie, and it's like that's unfortunately what Raw is just about every single week now. But I
gotta admit, the key bits good for this week was probably the King of the Ring stuff.
Yeah, because it's a nice simple story which they can tell without having to overdo anything.
It's a shame though we didn't get the Xavier and
Kofi. Yeah, like come
on.
You
know who from Raw's going to Saudi, don't you? And it ain't going to be one of the good guys that are loved.
Oh no! It's going to be Finn versus Jinder. There, you just know it.
What's the betting though? That Finn's going to be on the order of the Demon's got to come out.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if that will go down well in Saudi Arabia. The demonic thing. They'll probably be burned at the stake for being a witch or something. But
it's not like they'll probably get stuck at an airport again like last time.
Yeah, and then they got SmackDown because this is on Thursday, right? I think it's Thursday. So they got SmackDown the next day, so we might be back to where we were last.
When the actual draft rosters finally come in. What was the fucking point? Just do it 2 weeks beforehand, and then but they don't come in and thing till then. But yet people are jumping on over the show, and so basically these 2 weeks, as per usual, just before a Saudi. Oh, that's fucking pointless for it.
Yep. At least I'll say this. At least with this Saudi show, I think it may be the very first one where they've actually built stories up properly for the entire show. Whereas normally it's like, we've got this pay-per-view and then the Saudi show like the next week or whatever. So we just throw a shit ton of random matches. This Saudi show actually has a build.
It's quite nice that they've left Undertaker in retirement for this one.
Yeah. They've not bought. What I was about to say, they've not dragged any legends all the way over there, but they're dragging Goldberg over there again. I think Goldberg's now filling that slot. But
no offense, one of their guys had a heart attack. A month ago?
Yeah.
The other one technically retired and has destroyed his body for 30 years for him. That's before he destroyed it for like 10, 15 years before that.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what. I don't know where Triple H is right now. I don't know if he's. I know he's not back at all in the company yet. He's still recovering. So I don't know who's really running
it. After his bit of a scare, he might just be trying to finally have some time and enjoy it with his kids.
Yeah, I think he's. I think Shawn Michaels is running NXT alongside input from certain people up top in Titan Tower as well.
What are the people that fuck the other two shows?
Yeah, people like Brucey Baby and Vince, people like that. They talking about NXT though. NXT 2.0. The whole point of it is like they want new talent on there, fresh talent on there, straight from the Performance Center. That's like the new thing now, which is all well and good if there are actually any good talent, right? But at the moment, there just seemed to be a lot of filler. In my opinion, I watched this week's, and I'm just thinking.
As I say, you watched this week's. You watched this week's one, and I said this week. In like it's been 3 3 weeks now since the rebrand, and the other 2 weeks I've actually really enjoyed the shows.
Yeah, and like,
this week it's the first one where part of it was good, and then other parts were just what's the point?
Yeah, like I said to you, like Braun Breaker, I genuinely believe is he's going to be main event in a WrestleMania in a very short amount of time.
From the first show, he was brought out. He's going to be the guy.
Yeah, why on earth he's not a Steiner, I don't know, but there we are.
It's no offense. When you hear Steiner, you think of Scott, and at times it doesn't always go over well.
Yeah, but you know, money.
Just because he's related to the more normal one.
Yeah, but the Steiner name is no, and the thing is, it's his name. His name, it's not like a gimmick.
You also know WWE as well. They do like to own the names of wrestlers.
It's Brandon. It's 100% Brandon. They don't own Steiner, so tough shit. Basically,
let's be honest. I don't think they like the fact that they didn't get to own John Cena, Kurt Angle,
CM Punk. Yeah, like anything like that. Yeah, yeah, I know. But we have a new North American champion on NXT.
Oh my god, that came to a misfit. Fuck up. I'm sorry. After several months of the story between these two fucking groups, and you don't pull it on who was, no offense, probably the best cruiserweight champion I've seen and gone, no, we'll put it on the person who's just been going around mocking everyone, saying that I've got a contract and you're an idiot because you've now decided that you're not going to cash in for the big belt. Yeah, all right. Don't get me wrong. He's fucking insane. That the guy he's insane in the ring.
Carmelo, and he's also got a really good look. I think I think he actually looks. He's one of the few newer guys that's coming through, which I actually think has quite a decent look. Doesn't look generic.
The thing is on Twitter, because I actually saw it on Twitter before I managed to watch the show, so I know he cashed in his contract. But it's with Shawn Michaels, and it's basically like, you know, he's sort of. He's the Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And like that. Do we really need to compare these guys to the others?
On that SmackDown was, as we said, SmackDown was a decent show this week.
I enjoyed SmackDown.
I think it opened very, very strong. Edge is so goddamn good at that stuff. The opening with him just cutting that promo. Did you notice the announcers having to cover for the fact that there was no fans in the arena? Really, I found that so funny.
To be honest, at the same time I watched it, I was slightly out. I was doing something as well at the same time.
But they started the show by saying, you know, we're sold out here, and it was a legit sellout.
I saw the aftermath on Twitter to do with someone once again shitting on Dave Meltzer, and got corrected on the fact that no, it's not got nothing to do with AEW. He's saying it for SmackDown.
Yeah, that was because people go at Dave, and like, you know, I shit on Dave a lot as well, but like there's times when it's warranted and times when it isn't. Like, he was exactly right, because on that, what he was talking about was SmackDown. When you panned around when Edge was coming to the ring, that arena looked like 1/5 full, like maybe a third full. Like, it was dead. It was so dead.
Let's be honest, if it's anything like driving around in London, you know, it takes you an hour to go fucking about 10 miles down the road.
Exactly. So like they came on air saying, we are sold out here, and then obviously you look around and there's no one in the bloody arena, but it was a legit sellout, one of the few that they've had in a long time. They don't really sell out lots there. Raws don't sell out. SmackDowns actually do tend to sell out, but they had to cover for it by the traffic is very heavy here in California. The crowd is coming. I swear to you. But no, we had Edge cut a very good promo, and then we had the King of the Ring matches. We had Finn went through, Zelina Vega went through.
It's going to be an interesting one. I do reckon a Saudi that he's suddenly going to get the Demon show up.
I hope so. It'd be kind of good if you do, because I don't know. If it's Jinder, then goddamn it, that's going to be just shit. Yeah, that's just.
Then you're also going to get that shitty story of I'm the king, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and we've
done pushed fucking Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, we've done the king thing now for a long time. Like, Baron did that for a long time. So
I also thought Baron did a good job of it.
He did. He actually did.
Technically, there is still a king on SmackDown, so that's a problem with that.
Oh yeah, they did the king gimmick for a long time. So hopefully, if Finn wins it, they don't have him Oh, if they turn him into
it'll be the
King
Demon.
Bala.
No, it'll be the King Demon.
Demon King. That's it. Demon King. I hope they don't do like a proper cheesy king gimmick with him. He doesn't need it because he calls himself like Prince.
They might not do too much now with the male side with the King part, but it's gonna get a thing of, which technically means that someone from the SmackDown roster needs to win it so they can have the Queen v Queen storyline. Yeah,
100%. Whoever wins it, if Zelina, Dewdrop, or Shayna wins it, 100%, it's going to be they're calling themselves the Queen and they're going up against Charlotte.
Have to be because Shayna's now being moved to SmackDown, ain't she?
Is Shayna going to SmackDown?
I swear she got moved to SmackDown.
Did she? Right, I can't remember.
I could be mistaken. So technically, if she goes through, you'd have a SmackDown technically final.
Yeah, I mean that would that's a ready built story though for WWE to use with the Queen v Queen thing, and somehow they will manage to not do it. Yeah, and we had a tag team match. We had the return to the ring this week, which was a bit bizarre, which I didn't see. I've been waiting for it for a while, but I'm not sure if if Sonya's cleared properly because she didn't really wrestle.
No.
So I'm assuming she's not cleared.
Well, I didn't know she was actually properly injured. I know she left because of they wrote her out of story because of
the intruder,
the court case and stuff.
So, but the fact that she didn't she's not been getting physical, I'm just assuming that maybe she's not cleared in some way because it just seemed a bit strange to me that they just had her standing there. I don't know. It's a bit odd, but it was decent what it was.
That was their WWE's version of trying to build a story for when it finally does happen.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But also WWE's I don't know, they're big on their managers again at the moment. They're that they want managers. That was Adam Cole's proposed role, wasn't it? That was what WWE pitched to Adam Cole. Hey, if you stay here, we'll make you a manager. You've got to change your name, but we'll make you a manager for Keith Lee on the main roster.
Okay.
So he made I think that made his choice easy enough to leave.
Vince's big vision these days. Yeah?
Vince's big vision.
Is that because now they see that managers are working on AEW?
Yeah,
managers. Not like managers never didn't work in the first place. Lana did a great job of it.
Yeah, Lana
did a great job of it.
Yeah, AEW have done a great job with especially with legends, with Jake and Arn and Tully. They've done a great job with that, and it's I mean, come on, we've seen how good Paul Heyman is. Jesus Christ, give us more. But there we are. We had your main event, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. That was a good match, very good match actually. I really liked it.
Well, let's be honest, we know they're both going to deliver. So,
oh yeah,
unfortunately, they got a bit rushed out of the ring after it though.
Oh yeah, quickly.
Problem is though, it was, I'm about to say Adam, but Pat. It was him on the announcer thing, not realizing what they're doing, and he's just insulted thingy.
I thought that they were gonna have a 2-minute match, and it was going to be screwy straight from the beginning, and I didn't actually think they would give them, a proper match. So I'm glad they did, and that at Crown Jewel should be really quite good. I reckon the triple threat match.
Yeah, can't work out at the moment who's winning what though.
No. Becky's, I don't know. She's lost that shine since coming back as the heel was just such a wrong fucking decision to make.
Especially when your other big face name in a company's heel.
Yeah, they literally do not have a baby face at the moment. They just Brock Lesnar apparently is their baby face, which is mad to say.
They're gonna have to bring Bailey back now, ain't they, as a baby face? She's doing a great job as fucking heel.
They're gonna have to because genuinely, who is the baby face? I mean, Edge isn't strictly a baby face right now. He's a bit of a tweener, isn't he? He's not a heel, but he's not your normal white meat baby face.
Edge can't work out which character he wants to be. Moment, so.
Yeah, and obviously Seth
don't work out if he wants to be face or heel right now.
Yeah, Seth's a heel. Brock is Brock.
Seth's just lost his mind.
Yeah, Steph's just the crazy uncle in the corner.
Him and Becky Lynch right now in their outfits.
They're trying to like one up each other.
What is it? They got baby brains now or something.
But yeah, that was good. And then obviously we had the contract signing at the end. I love Brock Lesnar.
Before we actually go to this, but can we talk about Seth Rollins and his crazy outfits? I love the fact that the audience were chanting Harley Quinn.
Were they? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, because I was trying to work it out what they were trying to say, and eventually Pat after it, where once again he decided to insult Seth again, as you know what Pat does with any wrestler.
I love Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
Pat has been like one of the best additions they've had.
I didn't hear him.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I could hear him chanting. I was trying to work out properly what they were chanting, and I thought I could hear something like but then Pat actually confirmed that he was chanting Harley Quinn at him because of his outfit.
That's funny. They oh yeah, I can see that. That's funny. That's a good one. He must spend a lot of money, you know, Seth, now on doing these ridiculous suits every week. It's kind of cool.
He's got to be spending a lot of money on fake fur.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we had the contract signing at the end, which I love. I love Brock in this sort of role. I think he's
at the moment. I think Brock and actually they've done quite good creative with this story on how well Brock's playing the card of still getting to doubt whether it's Paul, even though I don't think Paul actually is doing shit.
No, neither do I. I think he's just trying to toy with Roman, and then I reckon what's going to happen. If see, this is weird, right? If Lesnar wins this, which I hope he doesn't, I hope Lesnar isn't the one to beat Roman after all this time. But if Lesnar,
thought that about the Undertaker as well. So
yeah, if Lesnar wins this after this, what I hope happens is Paul then tries to go and side with Brock, and Brock just lays him the fuck out. Like I can fully see that being a thing if they do go with Lesnar winning it.
One thing that I hope they don't go with Lesnar as well, because it'd be quite nice to see Lesnar just disappear for a little while again and see him again on the Royal Rumble-ish. Yeah.
We just need Lesnar twice a year, one really good story each time, because this has been genuinely, I think this is one of the best stories.
But at the same time, he's also quite busy outside of the ring now anyway.
He's training.
He's loving cutting up meat at the minute.
Yeah, he's got his big old farm going. He's training at the University of Minnesota. He's doing a load of work with them. So yeah, he's a busy beast at the moment. But I can see
it though. He has got to trim his hair cut down a bit. That ponytail is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
I would never say that he's got this on top. It just looks ridiculous, but I accept it.
Yeah.
What I've also liked though with this Brock Lesnar as well is they've actually let Brock come out as Brock.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing, right?
On that tracksuit.
Yeah, they let him just looking like, you know, big farmer man.
This is like the first time through this storyline you get to see Brock Lesnar comes down with his cowboy boots on.
Yeah, and his ridiculous belt buckle, the fucking belt buckle the size of like a dinner plate. I was like, Jesus Christ!
It's a bit like the Rock's Brahma Bull one that he used to have in the past.
It was. Do you know what it was? It was the tattoo. The one that the buckle he had is Brock's tattoo. You know, the big tattoo he has on his back.
Yeah,
it was that as a thing. But it was like this big.
Once again, he copied the Rock again. When he did the Brahma Bull.
It was like this, and I'm just thinking, Jesus Christ, you can like stab someone's eye out with it. I love it. But no, I think this Brock is great, because we've literally seen since Brock pretty much since he returned. Because how long after he returned did Paul Heyman actually join him? It was pretty much straight away, weren't it? He faced.
Yeah.
I don't think he was with him with the first Cena match, was he? And then I think he was with him after that. So like pretty much since he returned, he's had Paul with him the entire time. So this has been a long time with no gimmick change whatsoever.
Yeah, but it's also quite good because Brock's also he doesn't need someone to talk for him.
He really doesn't. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I get why they had Paul there originally, because then they want to do the MMA thing, you know, he just comes in, destroys, leaves, and all that. But we've seen that.
But even towards the end of that, though, Brock was sort of pushing Paul away.
Yeah. My favourite thing that Brock's done since his original return, genuinely, is when he had the Money in the Bank briefcase and he was coming down just jamming out every day. That was one of the funniest things because Brock, it's like the old that old GIF, which comes around every now and then of him in the sombrero, like shaking the maracas and stuff as he came to the ring against Eddie. Like, he's got a personality. They just never want people to see it.
No, because he's supposed to hate everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So whilst SmackDown was going ahead with its elongated show, its 2.5 hour long show, because AEW is not competition. AEW was running a buy-in. That's what they call their pre-show.
Technically, if you go by what WWE say, AEW is technically competition because everything's competition, including sleep.
Yep, sleep is.
So as much as they go, AEW is not competition. You just said everything's competition, including sleep.
It is funny because they're like, no, we don't think AEW is competition. We think all content is competition, though. And you think, what? So AEW is just not content? What? Like, okay. Yeah, they ran. Tony Khan announced a match just a couple days before the show that was going to go on the buy-in of Minoru Suzuki versus Daniel Bryan, which for many people is like a dream match. People who like that stuff. Suzuki's a legend in Japan, one of the biggest legends in Japanese wrestling history, and they just
sitting on his ass in the picture. You couldn't put that picture up.
I know, and they just beat the living shit out of each other. That was a proper strong style match throughout the whole thing, and 800,000 people have watched it. So, well done WWE for forcing AEW to get more viewers on their shows. But because you got Tony Khan to book even greater matches. And also Bobby Fish was on the buy-in. Bobby Fish obviously debuting for AEW last week. Bobby Fish was on the buy-in against
Bobby Fish did the right decision on going away AEW because they're actually letting him rest. I know you got to be a bit careful with Bobby Fish, and I think with AEW it will work quite well for him because he hasn't got to be in it week in, week out.
Yeah.
So I think because he was quite injury prone with it in NXT.
Yeah. I think AEW have the right I think they have the right mentality here where it's like they have a cycle. Not everyone's on TV every week. You come and you go. You have a story and then you go away for a bit and you have a story, you go away because they don't want people to get burned out. They don't want people to get bored of people. So it's like they've got their main stars, but everyone else just comes and goes. And I think that's the best way of doing it because people are going to be a lot less injury prone because we don't actually hear many people getting injured in AEW now. Like, considering how ridiculous some people work on that show, you don't actually. I thought you'd have like
Darby Allin,
yeah, like how Darby isn't just constantly in traction. I really don't know. So I think it's pretty. I think it's a nice thing that they do because people have been saying for years that WWE should have an off season. Like football or whatever, tennis, like all other sports, they have their seasons and then they take time off. There's no way that works in wrestling because it's episodic.
Yeah,
but this is like enough nice in between
to be able to get some people out that need it.
And WWE should be able to do that as well because that means you're not putting all your eggs in one basket of just a few stars. You build up everyone so that everyone means something on the show. They used to do it, no disrespect to people like Gangrel or whatever, but Gangrel wasn't a main event star, but everybody knew who he was. D'Lo Brown, Jeff Jarrett, all of them guys in the Attitude Era. It's like,
of course you knew who the fuck Gangrel was. He was drinking blood out of a cup.
Yeah, but like you could put them in a main event and not think twice about it. Whereas nowadays, if they put some of the guys and girls in WWE's roster on the main event, you'd be like, "What the living shit are you doing?" Because they don't mean anything. But talk about Rampage, though. I thought Rampage was a very good show as a whole.
Oh yeah, because it's now long and they do it quite well.
Yeah, CM Punk versus Matt Sydal. I think that was Punk's best match.
Well, I think with the commentators as well, I think they did it in a quite a good way of saying with like Matt trying to see if he can outwork him to get him gassed.
Yeah.
Which why not at the moment? You try to do these bits to try and see if you can, because at the end of the day, that's one part of his game at the moment. CM Punk's not 100% on yet.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to get more into the rhythm more and more. And while we're here, we may as well talk about Roman Reigns' comments about Punk having missed a step and looking a bit slow and not so good in the ring.
Sure, it's just not Vince McMahon in charge of his Twitter account.
Well, this was an interview he gave as well, and it's like I think Vince McMahon must have a permanent wire to Roman Reigns' brain, because it is basically Roman opens his mouth and Vince McMahon speaks, because there's no way. I know most of what Roman says. He's in character. He's playing the heel. He's in character for it. But it's like, come on, just it doesn't do anyone any
trying to play the long
favors.
game. If you can piss off CM Punk that match, CM Punk will come back.
CM Punk will come back. Yeah. But yeah, we had a good match.
That's his end game, ain't it, Roman Reigns? I'll get him back.
Yeah, we had a good
enough to come back and fight me in the ring.
We had a good match from Punk and Side Out, and Ruby Soho. I think they're doing some good stuff with her. I think finally she's getting.
Let's be honest, they did a good thing between them lot to do for a story between the two shows as well.
Yeah, I think she was so criminally underrated in WWE and underused in WWE.
Well, no offense, the whole group they had there.
Yeah.
And Liv's only just finally getting her big push, but it just scares me that they're never going to give her a chance for the belt.
Yeah, they're not. They've got like their 5 or 6 that they just pass the belts between in WWE. The women, they don't really venture out of their little clique. I think so. It's weird because AEW. I mean, our biggest criticism for well over a year was the women's roster in AEW, right? Well, not the roster. That's wrong. Stories and stuff with them, and them not using them properly.
Well, no, I still have my one critic. Is where the fuck's my tag team titles for the women? Because you have so many tag team partners in that thing. It's not fair enough. You brought them another singles title, another fucking TV named belt. But for fuck's sake, why do they not have the tag team division when they're all teamed the fuck up? They've all got tag teams.
Everyone in AEW has some kind of partner or allegiance. Like, come on, they're definitely going to go with the 6-man belts, I reckon, before they go with the bloody women's tag belts when they should have women's.
Fucking 6-man belt thing. I'm offering a fucking honor.
I know. I bet you they'll go with the 6-man belts before they do a women's tag team belt.
I don't know. I think Carl might just do it enough to piss off the Bucks a bit longer.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we had Dynamite last night, Saturday night Dynamite.
You can never go wrong when Adam Page is on TV.
That man cut one of the best promos I've heard on AEW TV in a long time, and that's saying something because AEW does great promos. He's gonna go do some cowboy shit.
Actually, going for the belt at their one in November, Full Gear.
Yes. So
I got confused when at the end of the show they show you the table of the world title eliminator tournament. I don't understand that.
So I'll put something on the screen now, right? Which basically this image, should I be able to get it up on the screen? You
broke it in our first show already, haven't you?
Yeah, no. This
after
image,
2 months of all of this thing, we finally come back with a new branding thing, and you go and ruin it, haven't you?
Yep. I've messed up.
I told you you'd fuck it at the beginning of the show, didn't I?
No, there's an image on Twitter that someone found. Basically, Tony Khan was walking around at a Jags game this week, and he had on him this bit of paper here, and this bit of paper here, when zoomed in, has the Full Gear card written out on it, where he's written Full Gear, Kenny versus Adam Page, CM Punk versus Wardlow, MJF versus Darby. So he accidentally leaked his own card because a photographer took an image of him.
But why has he got to have it written on a piece of paper? Because I thought they had like a year's worth of story written out.
Because he actually went on Busted Open Radio last night, and he said that he was just like tinkering with things. He said that may be the full card, it may not be the full card. He's like, you'll find out when it gets announced. But they have 100% announced Kenny Omega versus Adam Page, because he announced that.
Adam Page doesn't fucking win, I'm done with AEW, even though I enjoy it quite a lot.
It's got to be the crowning moment. Like it's got to be. They've built this so beautifully.
Because he had to go and get his wife pregnant, we missed probably the biggest pay-per-view the whole fucking year of any wrestling company right now.
Yeah.
So Yeah, if I tell you, I won't watch AEW if Adam Page didn't win the belt because even though I enjoy it so much, I'll put myself through watching New Japan and watching hour-long fucking wrestling matches.
Nah, there's no way.
No match needs to be an hour long for no unnecessary reason.
There's no way they're not going to put the belt on in.
I'm pre-warning you. The podcast could be over from me watching AEW. We have to find someone for AEW. But
well, on that paper, so if this does stand, I'm going to assume that now it's leaked. He's probably going to move some shit around because he's not going to like the idea of the whole card being out there. As it stands, you've got Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page, MJF versus Darby Allin, Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa, Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. That's going to be great. CM Punk versus Wardlow, Adam Cole versus Christian Cage, Inner Circle versus American Top Team, Young Bucks versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, Cody versus Miro, or Malachi Black or Andrade. It's got them all written down there.
Andrade, actually, I thought after the AEW Dynamite show last night would probably be going up against MDF, the look that he gave him after he walked off.
Yeah, it looks like they're like dropping some hints at something future with Andrade and MJF with like
Andrade wants to be the leader of the group.
Yeah.
Take over your group.
And Lucha Bros versus FTR is on there. Obviously, FTR.
What for the
AAA? Yeah, that
maybe both belts will be on the night.
Yeah. So yeah, that could be a pretty good card. I mean, Punk versus Wardlow is a weird shout because they've not really gone there yet. But I can see MJF versus Darby being on the show because that makes sense. Because obviously, like this week's Dynamite and stuff, and like Sting and all that, it makes sense.
They got a few weeks to get there.
Yeah. The thing is,
what do you mean this week's stuff to do with him? The fact that they've been doing the story for like the last few weeks.
But that's what I mean. So it means like they are definitely that one does make sense, seeing as when you actually watch the show. But like, the thing is with Punk, they don't really need him in a story at the moment because his story is kind of, I'm back, I'm here to wrestle young guys. That's really it. And like for the time being, it kind of works.
Yeah, but there's always just short thing with him where normally 1 week he'll get a thing in and the next week he's in the thing from the week before.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, which then you never know, may lead into him in an MJF storyline. Which is going to happen because basically he insulted MJF anyway on the show anyway last night. Yeah. When basically he's walking down to the ring and what was it? He basically just stated, "Oh well, there's nothing interesting on TV right now. And there's nothing going on right now. And let's talk about this." And then MJF was just walking down to the ring.
Punk was great on commentary last night. There was a bit with Serena Deeb where he just said he was like, she has a nice head of hair on her, and it's just like the throwback to when she was in the Straight Edge Society, and you remember he shaved her hair. I love that. He just randomly was like, "Hey, she's got a nice head of hair."
It's like some of the games that I play with the thing, and it's always that picture where she's got the short hair.
I love that. And my favorite thing about with him on commentary last night was when you had the Lucha Bros versus La Superanas FTR, was him completely no selling it and just being like, "It's FTR, it's FTR under there. Come on, we can all see it's FTR." And then Tony Schiavone's is like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, Tony, it's FTR."
Yeah, and talking about the mask of Dax Masters under. Yeah, I can see his bald head. It's definitely.
I think that's genius. Yeah.
Well, no, but it's also like at the moment, it's like I'm loving Ricky on Friday nights on announcement at the moment because the way he does things.
Yeah, I think they're being smart in bringing people in because also it helps them think off the cuff when they're on commentary. It betters their mic skills so much.
I really have the last few weeks thought Ricky's done a great job for a Friday night.
Do you want
Not quite pat for a Friday night, but he's getting it.
Yeah. Do you know what made me laugh? During the Young Bucks and versus that Dark Order match with that Evil Uno with Mr. Socko. I thought that was great. I love that. And Mick Foley's getting a good old shout out. He's been defending AEW and shitting on WWE, so they're going to be loving Mick.
I got me actually. You bring about that one. I ended up watching one of the top 10 some kind of moments over there on YouTube, and it just happened to be the bit where it was Mick Foley and Oh fuck! What was his name? That did Cobra.
Oh, Santino with the Cobra and Socko.
When they did the Socko, when they argued with both of them, and it's just the comedy. Fucking Santino was such an underrated guy.
Oh, he was so good. He was just so good at doing his role. He knew his role so well. Yeah, and they main evented with Brian and Bobby Fish. It was a good match, very good match.
I mean, what as they said in the comment there, they both got the same kind of styles, and they do.
Yeah. God, they're killing it. Daniel Bryan must be Brian Danielson. He must be loving it so much right now. Like he's getting to go and do all this wrestling, which he's been begging WWE to let him do for years, and they were just too fucking stubborn to let him actually go and have these matches. And it's like, God, considering what pisses you off though as well, isn't it? It's like there's so many guys in WWE who are genuinely really, really good and could have some killer matches like these guys are having in AEW. You got Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and they're constantly just like being held back, and they put on decent matches, but never anything like phenomenal, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like AEW seems to be able to churn out at least one really great match every single show, which is like WWE can do it once a month, maybe once every other.
All of a sudden, though, Daniel Bryan's been kicked out of a storyline that he was a part of.
With Jurassic Express.
Yeah,
I know. They'll circle around, don't they?
So what? All of a sudden, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are by themselves when there was about 4 to 5 of them.
Yeah, we had Christian was with them, and Brian with them.
But they mentioned about Christian, you know, he's at home because he's a bit sore and bad. No, he's not a young chicken anymore. Where was the midget?
You can't say that.
All right. Where's the one who's like not 5 foot?
Yeah, well, Marco, they just bring in and out. He's sometimes there, he's sometimes not. I don't really.
Don't get me wrong. There are times that I find it quite entertaining with certain things and how he goes up against.
Do you know who
other times I find like that Kenny should just slap him again.
Marco's idol as a wrestler is the Big Show, which I find so funny, and I really want to see Big Show versus Marco because he'll just like ragdoll him around the ring.
Why do you want Marco to suffer like that, you cruel bastard?
Hey, no, he wants it. Marco said that his dream match is versus the Big Show because that is literally his wrestling idol, and I think that is just brilliant. And I would.
Is that where they just ruin it by just having Big Show do his right hand and then just step on him?
Yeah, Marco's, just 1, 2.
Marco's now does a step over and crushes him, and then he's now being carried out because
he's now
he ain't got a rib cage anymore.
Yeah. So this coming week we have Crown Jewel. So on the card actually looks pretty decent, you know. We've got Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali because obviously Mansoor gets pulled out for a Saudi show.
It was hearing some other people talk about this, and it's just you had actually quite a good story for a good tag team come along and something for them both to do. Just because you've got a Saudi show coming up, let's break them up and do this.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm now really give 2 craps of being interested in it now.
I know. I know they literally as well. They didn't even mention on SmackDown this week that match was happening on the show. They covered every other match. They didn't even mention the fact that match was happening on the show because Mustafa Ali tweeted out saying, "Not that you'd know it by watching SmackDown, but I'm also wrestling this week." You think that's got to be a fucking kick in the balls if you're one of those guys.
Well, that's probably Pat saying he doesn't like him. I'm not talking about him. Yeah. It's not like Pat not to shit on everyone in front of him.
We have Edge versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match, which should be pretty decent.
It's a shame it's going to be a red Hell in a Cell.
It's going to be that fucking red cell because they've already got the picture of the red cell on the.
They always use the fucking red cell now.
I know, but I was hoping maybe they would have something different in Saudi. I don't know. I was hoping for something, but god damn it, it's just so shit. I don't get it. I thought it was just that one time.
Worried about getting a red cage, you know, because what's Saudi Arabia and things like that, and what's happening over that side with a lot of blood and stuff all that.
Yep. We have Zelina Vega versus either Shayna Baszler or Dewdrop for the Queen's Crown. Who do you reckon it's going to be in there?
I don't know at the moment because they are pushing Dewdrop.
But I can't imagine them putting.
If they want to go with the Queen thing, it'll probably be Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she's going to SmackDown.
Right. Yeah. So Shayna makes most sense, and she's probably the only one out of the three of them that like could do a proper story with Charlotte. Really, I like Zelina, but really Shayna's the one which makes sense out of all of that.
Well, Selena's one hell of a fucking wrestler and can fucking do it, but it's just WWE don't book her properly.
Oh no, but you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like they don't. That's not WWE's style with anyone other than Shayna, really. And we have Finn versus either Jinder or Xavier.
Well, let's be honest. It's probably going to be fucking Jinder because I can only say because he's Muslim, because he's not because he's fucking Indian. He's fucking Canadian.
Yeah. It makes no sense. They wheel certain people out for these Saudi shows, which make no logical sense because Jinder has no connection with Saudi Arabia or those or that part of the world whatsoever. But they literally do.
It's just his skin color, right?
It is. It fully is. Like they do this stuff.
Are you saying WWE are racist?
I'm not saying that.
It's
true. It's true, but I'm not saying it.
It sounds like you're saying it. Is that how you're wording it?
It's like Mansoor versus Mustafa, and this is no knock at either of those two guys because they are both brilliant. Actually, Mansoor is incredibly good for how Reese knew he's in the company.
Before in that this thing with LA, the only time we ever got used was it's Saudi's time. Let's bring him up. Otherwise, you wouldn't see him on any show. Apart from I think it was 205.
Like Mansoor's going to have like an Undertaker WrestleMania undefeated streak at these Saudi shows as well because they're never going to beat the man. At least he's like the first homegrown Saudi talent. He's going to be in 10 years' time when he's still signed WWE and they're coming to the end of this fucking contract. So he's still got 8 years.
Basically, what you're going to say is when they come to the final show, Vince is going to be like, "Fuck you,
beat him." Yeah, beat him, Brock. And we have Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley in a no-holds-barred match.
That should be quite an interesting match.
It should because also it feeds into like Bill Goldberg's strengths a little bit here. He doesn't have to put on like a proper wrestling match at all. They can just
get to
pummel the shit out of each other
and then get some kendo sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Just pummel each other to death, which is
with WWE. It's always a kendo stick these days.
Yep.
Or a chair.
Yep. They only.
If you're really lucky, there's a trash can.
Yeah, they only have like 5 weapons now.
It's like going back now to playing the WWE game like a couple of years ago when you were stocked with literally the 4 weapons.
Yeah.
Unless you did an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, there's no pulling out barbed wire and thumbtacks and all this nowadays.
We saved that for AEW.
We then have...
Which I'm pretty sure Tony Khan said would never happen.
Yeah, that went well. We then have Big E versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. No, and it's a real shame because it's not Big E's fault. Big E's very good.
It's because they did the fucking draft too early.
They just, yeah.
Why is the WWE Championship going to go over the fucking SmackDown?
Yeah, exactly. It's just such a stupid decision. As I said this to you the other day. What they should have done is they should have had the Saudi show and then done the draft.
That's what I said to you.
The following day on SmackDown. The following day on SmackDown and I said it makes sense because I said the other day it makes sense because this show's on Thursday and then on Friday they literally could have done the SmackDown show and then the Raw to finalize it. It's like
as soon as they turn around and said, "Oh yeah, we're now these rosters back into." So what's the fucking point in that? Now these next 2 weeks, there's just no fucking point.
Yeah. We then have RK Bro versus AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw tag titles.
I love Omos.
Yeah. And we have the women's triple threat match of Becky, Bianca, and Sasha for the SmackDown women's title. So that should be kind of cool. I reckon this should be a great match.
It should be, but I'm struggling to get invested in it.
But it's what we're saying. It's like I don't know what it is.
It's not for the normal reasons. I'm a bit meh at the moment with Becky because it's sort of the same thing and the weird fake fur outfits, and I'm a bit meh with Bianca at the minute because it's just the same shit at the minute. She isn't. It doesn't feel like she's evolving at all. It's just stuck on repeat.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of more invested in Sasha. And I'm never invested in Sasha.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, you're never. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't really. I think she's a good wrestler, but at times I don't always agree with certain things. Innit? I'm with Sasha on this one.
That's that. Yeah, I would never have expected to hear that from you. That's strange.
Yeah,
but
normally I'll be like that, Becky on the way, but I'm just like, yeah.
It's just I don't know what they've just managed to really mess up this Becky return. It should have been like the biggest return that they've got all year, and I don't know. It's
I just want Bailey back.
Flat.
I love Bailey.
Yeah, and then we have our main event: Roman versus Brock.
Well, that should be insane.
That should be good. They have all of their matches.
Somehow. They had such a great storyline build up to this. They're going to ruin it somehow in this match.
All of their matches that they've had have been great. Like Roman
What's
and Brock
the
have
the
great chemistry.
Usos won't be at this event because they definitely want to make sure that they have some of the
people at SmackDown.
Bloodline.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah. Like they are going to like that first Saudi show that they did, and the one where they got held there. Oh, sorry, they didn't get held there according to them. When their plane was delayed for a day.
And then they went and bought their own plane.
Yeah. When they did those shows, WWE literally shipped out every single wrestler on their roster to these shows, which was just so stupid. Like, it was so stupid. Like, now...
Well, not all of them. There were still some, the smaller people on SmackDown.
Yeah.
NXT needed someone to beat up.
Because they did like those like the greatest Royal Rumble and shit, and like the Battle Royal. So they had like
but those 100
fucking
those
wrestlers.
Ones made sense for them all to go out. The ones where you lost most of your main guys, there wasn't that thing going on there at that point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They were just taking them all out there because they were like, oh, we got to give the Saudis every single person we have, and then it was like now they're like, no, fuck this,
and then we don't use them.
Yeah.
I think Vince is going to make sure though is not all take off first.
100%. Yeah.
Before he fights off this time.
Yeah, of course. Is he fuck? Is he fuck? He is going to be over the Atlantic before he realizes they haven't left.
Him hold at gunpoint.
Yeah, him, Roman, Brock, Paul, all the people that are on his plane, they'll be long gone again. They will not learn.
Brock's going to be going back and again on his own private plane. Paul's going to be like, what?
Yeah, they will not be learning shit from last time. But anyway, that is this week in wrestling. This week should be interesting. This is the best looking Saudi show we've had thus far. So I will actually watch this properly. Like the other Saudi shows, I just sort of skimmed through, but they actually built this.
I might watch this one because let's be honest, I have normally no interest in the blood money.
Yeah, they've actually built this show, other than the other ones all just being fucking cash grabs. Take the money, run, don't put on a show, which means
bunch of legends coming back to do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, yeah, that is this week in wrestling. We're not far off of Halloween Havocs in 2 weeks, and then we've got Full Gear. I think in a month. I think it's a month this week. I think it's like the 14th of November is Full Gear.
Yeah, something like that. Because I had a quick look on AEW.
Yeah, it's a Saturday show. So we've got.
It's always fucking Saturdays for them right now.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they've gone back to Saturdays because they've been doing Sundays for.
But I'm on about. I got to admit, it's just the one thing at the moment that irritates me. It's not actually AEW's fault; it's their broadcasters. It's the fact that they're the ones that have to be moved.
Yeah, but
unlike if you're a WWE, like because Fox, when they had to, they kept the same day, same time thing. Just put them on one of their smaller networks to start.
They did the same. I think they did the same to SmackDown this week. I'm pretty sure SmackDown this week was on FS1 again.
So,
but
at least that way you know what day. Instead of suddenly, because I didn't even realize the fucking AEW this week was on Saturday till you told me.
Yeah. It shouldn't happen too often, but soon they move to TBS, so it won't happen at all. So that they'll be actually having.
Does that mean they lose the TNT title or they rebrand it?
No, because Rampage stays on TNT. So Rampage will be on TNT and Dynamite will be on TBS. So Dynamite shouldn't be moving really when they finally make their move. But we have a big old month to come. But that is it for this week in wrestling. Please do head over and follow us on Twitter at ShowStopWrestle. It's all down below. Like and subscribe to us if you are new here, and we'll see you next week for another video. We are out.